What if everything you've been told about age was wrong? What if 60 wasn't the beginning of decline, but the perfect starting point for the life you've always wanted? People around you may say it's too late, that your chance has passed, that the doors have closed. But deep down, you know there's still something inside you, a quiet fire that refuses to die. That fire is your proof that you're not done yet. And the truth is, you are more prepared now than you have ever been. Every joy you've felt, every heartbreak you've endured, every challenge you've overcome has shaped you into someone with depth, wisdom, and resilience. You've been training for decades without even realizing it, and now all that experience is your greatest advantage. The world tells us that youth is the prime of life, but that's only half the story. Youth may have energy, but it lacks the clarity that comes from living. At 60, you know what matters and what doesn't. You've already seen which dreams were illusions and which ones were worth holding on to. You've learned who you are when everything is stripped away. That kind of self-knowledge is rare, and it's exactly what gives you the power to start over now, stronger than ever. You're not fumbling in the dark anymore. You see the path ahead with clearer eyes. And here's the secret most people never hear. You're not behind. You're ahead in ways that count the most. You've already walked through storms that would have broken the person you used to be. You've already proven you can adapt, survive, and rebuild. That means starting over now is not starting from zero. It's starting from experience, and experience is worth more than raw energy. It's the difference between guessing and knowing, between rushing blindly and moving with purpose. Think about the freedom you have now. You're no longer driven by the need to please everyone. You've seen enough to know that the opinions of others fade as quickly as they come. At 60, you can finally live for yourself. You can pursue what matters without the weight of other people's expectations holding you back. This isn't the time to shrink. It's the time to expand, to take the lessons of a lifetime and turn them into action that truly fulfills you. If you stay with me, you'll see exactly why this moment, right now, is the turning point you've been waiting for. You'll understand why your age isn't a barrier but a bridge to the life you've always imagined. You'll see that the perfect moment to begin again isn't in the past and it's not in the future. It's here. You still have time, you still have choice, and you still have power. The only question left is whether you'll use it. Starting over at 60 is not about erasing your past, it's about transforming it into your greatest weapon. Every decision you've made, every detour you've taken, every heartbreak and triumph has left you with a reservoir of knowledge most people will never have. You carry skills, insights, and lessons that no book can teach and no shortcut can replace. This is your foundation. You're not stepping into the unknown as a beginner. You're entering it as a master builder with the tools already in your hands. When you look back, you'll see moments you wish had gone differently, missed chances, roads you didn't take, words you didn't say. For years, those memories may have felt like chains, but right now, you have the power to break them. The weight you've carried doesn't have to follow you into this new chapter. You can choose to release it, to stop letting old failures define your worth. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are the sum of everything you've learned from them. And here's the beauty. You're starting from experience, not from nothing. When you were younger, you had to guess. You had to try and hope. Now, you can act with precision. You know which people lift you up and which ones drain you. You know which habits build your strength and which ones slowly destroy it. You can focus on what works without wasting years chasing what doesn't. That is the power of starting over now. You're not gambling with your future. You're investing in it with certainty. At this stage in life, your priorities are clearer. You're no longer chasing every shiny opportunity just to see where it leads. You're choosing with intention. You're building on rock, not sand. That means that the changes you make now will last, because they're rooted in understanding and purpose, not impulse. You can finally say no to what doesn't serve you without fear of missing out. You've lived long enough to know that what you gain by protecting your peace is worth far more than anything you could lose. This clean slate is your chance to create a life that reflects who you've become, not who you were told to be. It's the space to explore dreams you once set aside because you were too busy surviving. It's the freedom to design your days in a way that makes you feel alive, not trapped. You don't have to carry the old script anymore. You can write a new one that makes sense for the person you are now. The past prepared you for this. The pain sharpened you. The victories proved you could win. The wisdom you've earned is your greatest advantage, and it's yours to use right now. You're not starting over because life is over. You're starting over because life is finally yours. Fear loses its grip when you've lived through enough to see its true nature. At 60, you understand that fear is rarely a wall. It's usually just a shadow. In your younger years, you might have let it stop you, convincing yourself that you weren't ready or capable. But now, you've faced too many storms to believe that anymore. You've seen that even in your lowest moments, you found a way forward. You've endured losses that once felt unbearable and still managed to stand. That resilience is your proof that fear has no real power unless you give it permission. This is why you can now take risks others shy away from. You've learned that the unknown is not your enemy. It's a door, and the only key is your decision to step through. The stakes may feel higher now, but so is your ability to handle them. You know that failure isn't a verdict on your worth. It's just a lesson in disguise. And at this stage in life, you have the strength to learn quickly, adapt fully, and keep moving without hesitation. You are no longer trapped by the need for approval. You've seen enough to know that the people who matter will respect you for living boldly, and the rest were never your responsibility to please. This freedom is rare. It means you can pursue what matters without carrying the weight of judgment. It means you can stand firmly in your choices, knowing they align with your values and not someone else's expectations. Starting over now doesn't require reckless leaps. It requires deliberate, courageous steps. You've had decades to see what works and what doesn't, to observe patterns in life that repeat themselves until you decide to break them. You know when to move and when to wait, when to speak and when to listen. These instincts are not something you're guessing at. They are hard-earned truths you've tested over a lifetime. This courage is not loud. It's not about proving yourself. It's quiet and steady, built on the certainty that you can face what comes next because you've already faced worse. It's the kind of strength that doesn't need to be announced. It's simply lived. And when you live from that place, you radiate a confidence that can't be faked. There is no longer a question of whether you are ready. You've been ready for years. You just needed to see it. The fear that once stopped you is now a signal that you are standing exactly where you need to be. It means you're on the edge of growth, and the only thing left is to take that next step. Your courage is already here. All that remains is to use it. Focus is your greatest asset now. Time has taught you that scattering your attention across too many things only leaves you drained and unfulfilled. At 60, you see the value in directing your energy toward what truly matters. You no longer feel the pull to chase every opportunity, because you know not all opportunities are equal. You understand that saying yes to one thing means saying no to another, and you've grown wise enough to choose with precision. This is the kind of clarity that transforms effort into results. When you were younger, you might have wasted years on distractions that felt urgent but had no lasting impact. Now, you can cut through the noise and act with purpose. This is not about working harder than everyone else. It's about working on the right things. One focused year at this stage of life can accomplish more than an entire decade spent drifting without direction. Every choice you make now carries more weight, not because you have less time, but because you're using it more intentionally. The clock is not your enemy, it is your ally, reminding you that every day is a resource you can invest. And when you treat each day as valuable, you naturally strip away the habits, people, and distractions that waste it. You begin to protect your time like the treasure it is. That protection isn't selfish, it's necessary. It allows you to give your best self to the goals, relationships, and passions that matter most. You have the advantage of perspective. You've seen how quickly years pass when you're not paying attention. You felt the sting of wishing you had started sooner. Now you have the wisdom to act without delay, to take steps today instead of hoping for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is created by consistent, focused action, not by waiting for circumstances to align. With focus comes freedom. You free yourself from the exhausting cycle of doing everything for everyone. You free yourself from the noise of endless choices that lead nowhere. You free yourself from the weight of obligations that add nothing to your life. This freedom creates space. Space to think, to plan, to create something meaningful. Space to wake up in the morning and know exactly what you're building and why. This is how transformation happens. Not through chaos, but through clarity. Not through endless motion, but through deliberate movement in the right direction. You have the focus, the discipline, and the insight to make every step count. You can channel your time and energy into the life you want, and nothing is stopping you. Every day you choose with intention, you move closer to the life you deserve. This is your moment to use focus as the sharpest tool you've ever had, and to build something that lasts. Success no longer has to mean what it once did. At 60, you have the rare chance to define it entirely on your own terms. You've lived long enough to see that the world's version of success status, possessions, constant recognition, can leave people empty inside. You've watched others chase everything society told them they should want, only to feel unfulfilled when they got it. Now you understand that real success is deeply personal. It's not about meeting an external standard, it's about creating a life that reflects what truly matters to you. This is the point where you can finally let go of chasing validation. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. You've already proven it to yourself by surviving, by overcoming, by continuing to move forward, even when life tried to push you down. That's a victory many will never achieve. This freedom allows you to choose a path not for applause, but for alignment. Alignment with your values, alignment with your passions, alignment with the kind of peace you want to carry in your heart each day. Redefining success means giving yourself permission to pursue what excites you, even if it looks unconventional to others. It might be starting a business, changing careers, traveling, creating, teaching, or simply living in a way that makes you feel fully alive. It could mean prioritizing relationships that nourish you, or investing time in learning something new. The beauty is that it's entirely yours to decide. There's no wrong answer when you measure success by your own standards. At this stage, the pressure to fit into a mold fades away. And you see that the best life is not the one that looks impressive on the outside, it's the one that feels right on the inside. You have the wisdom to recognize the difference between fleeting excitement and lasting fulfillment. You no longer have to sacrifice your well-being for someone else's idea of achievement. You can choose joy without apology. And here's the truth, when you live in alignment with what matters most to you, every day becomes richer. Work feels purposeful, relationships deepen, time feels more meaningful because you're not wasting it on things that drain you. You stop measuring yourself by someone else's yardstick and start measuring yourself by the quality of your days, your peace of mind, and the legacy you're building. You've earned the right to live life on your own terms. You've earned the clarity to see through illusions and the courage to walk a different path. This is not settling, it's rising. Rising into a life that finally matches the person you've become. And when you choose that kind of success, you'll find that starting over at 60 isn't just possible, it's powerful. It's the truest expression of freedom you've ever had. Every day you hesitate is a day you can never reclaim. The dreams you have carried in silence are not accidents, they are signals. Reminders that there is still more life within you, still more to give, still more to experience. You may have convinced yourself that the window is closed, but the truth is it has been waiting for you to open it. Time is not asking you to rush, it is asking you to act. The longer you wait, the heavier the weight of regret becomes, and regret is far more painful than any risk you could take. This moment is rare because it holds the perfect balance of wisdom and possibility. You have lived enough to know who you are, and you still have the strength to shape what comes next. You are not starting over as the same person you were decades ago. You are starting over as someone sharpened by life's challenges, someone who understands the value of each choice, someone who refuses to live on autopilot anymore. That is a kind of power few ever reach. The fear you feel right now is not a warning to stay where you are. It is a sign that you are standing at the edge of growth. Growth will always feel uncertain. It will always stretch you beyond what is comfortable. But comfort is not where life expands. Comfort is where dreams quietly fade away. If you choose courage over comfort, you will see that what feels like the edge is actually the beginning of a new path. You do not need the approval of others to take that first step. You do not need every detail figured out. You only need the willingness to begin. Because once you begin, momentum builds. Every small action opens the next door. Every choice to move forward strengthens the belief that you can. And once belief takes root, the life you thought was impossible starts to unfold. This is your chance to stop carrying the version of yourself that belonged to the past. You can release the old limitations, the voices that told you it couldn't be done, the patterns that kept you repeating the same life year after year. You can choose to see yourself not as someone running out of time, but as someone finally ready to use it. You hold the pen to your next chapter. No one else can write it for you. And the only wrong choice is to leave the page blank. Step into the unknown with the knowledge that you have already survived more than you once thought possible. This is not the end of your story. It is the moment you take control of it. The moment you decide that 60 is not an age to settle, but an age to rise, and the rest of your life is waiting. There comes a point when you realize the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the choice to begin. All the waiting, all the hesitation, all the second guessing have done nothing but keep you in the same place. At 60, you no longer have to live in that cycle. You can decide here and now that the next years will not be a repeat of the last. This is not about changing everything overnight. It's about taking one clear step and then another, each one leading you closer to a life that feels like it was made for you. The power of this moment is that you have nothing to prove and everything to gain. You've endured enough to know that the most valuable things in life cannot be measured in possessions or titles. They are measured in meaning, in freedom, in the quiet satisfaction of knowing you are living in alignment with who you truly are. That kind of life doesn't appear by chance. It is built day by day through choices that honor your values and respect your time. You may think you need certainty before you move forward, but certainty is not a starting point. It's a result. It comes after you take action, after you show yourself that you can handle the challenges, after you see the evidence of your own strength. The first steps will always feel uncertain, but they are also the most powerful, because they shift your identity from someone who wishes to someone who does. Every goal, every dream, every change you want to make starts with that single moment where you decide to stop waiting. You have already proven that you can adapt, survive, and grow. You have walked through seasons of life where you thought you had no strength left, and yet you are still here. That resilience is your greatest proof that you can handle whatever this new chapter requires. There is no perfect time to start, only the time you choose to claim as yours. And when you do, everything changes. Opportunities appear where you once saw walls. Energy returns where you once felt tired. Hope grows where you once felt stuck. This isn't magic, it's the natural result of aligning your actions with your deepest desires. You don't need permission, you don't need approval. You only need the courage to act. Because every day you choose to move forward is a day you take back from fear, from regret, from the idea that it's too late. The truth is, it's not too late. It's right on time. And the moment you step into that truth, you'll see that the rest of your life is not just waiting for you to live it, it's ready for you to own it completely.